I'm heading off to a meeting of the Random Acts of Art Committee for the Arts Council of Westerville. Now, you might have heard the little nuance in all of that, and if you've got this ironic sense of humor that I have, I'm off to a meeting to help plan Random Acts of Art. A meeting for Random Acts of Art. Now, just so you know, we've had very few random acts of art. We have to have the proper paperwork to describe what the random act of art is. We have to have an approval process to have the random act of art be of the right type, size, shape, and color that might be best for Westerville. We have this criteria that the random acts of art must meet. We had such a criteria a year ago that a rather remarkable random act of art never happened, which is really a shame, because it would have been fun. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. It might still happen, unlikely. Or I might just take it upon myself to do it all by myself. I am a committee of one. I don't always disagree with the committee. I don't always agree with the committee. But I am a committee of one, and I may make this decision myself. Actually, I think in talking to you, I've made my decision. Look for a random act of art to happen in uptown Westerville, or maybe all over Westerville. I'm off to a committee meeting to organize random acts of art. I'm going to be pulling off the road here real quick to shoot a quick picture before I go to my Random Acts of Art committee. I don't need a committee to tell me to stop and take pictures of the guy replacing the no U-turn sign that had been demolished by someone who evidently wanted to make a U-turn. Alright, I'm back in the car after having made photographs of the guys from the city replacing the no U-turn sign. They were much concerned about my safety, worried that I shouldn't be standing in the street. Well, and I probably shouldn't be standing in the street. But I was very careful. My first admonition from one of them came as I was standing behind their truck, which has the street blocked. I was told that I shouldn't be standing in the street. My reply kind of irritated them. I looked at him, I said, dude, I do this all the time. I probably stood in the street more often than you have. That's probably true. I quite frequently get criticized for that. People see me in the street all the time taking pictures. There's a very measured way in which you do this. And the reality is, in this particular case, I was paying more attention to the traffic than the two workers for the city. They were oblivious to what was going on around them because they were in the median, in that concrete brick area, and not paying any attention to the way people were turning. That's a very dangerous spot. Dangerous for me to be there. But I didn't venture out to take photographs until I looked around, made sure there were no cars coming. There was no hint of a car coming. One had just passed, so I knew there wasn't going to be one right behind it. Very measured the way I made photographs. I was safer in this situation than they were. However, somebody once said that I'm probably going to get killed standing in the street taking pictures, and my answer was, if I die with a camera in my hand, it's a good death. It'd be a preferred way to go. Maybe not be a good death, but it'd be a preferred way to go. Camera in hand. There'd be no question then what my final photo is, would there? That's rather macabre. But sometimes that counts. I think I'm about done here on the morning introduction. Let's let's see here. There's nothing I need for you to see down below. Not yet. Down below there will be. But go ahead and look down below anyway. There might be something down there worth looking at. Now I have to find a parking spot. Ooh! There's no parking in Uptown. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to find a parking spot. Traffic, traffic, traffic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're a good man. Could you tell I was thirsty? Back in the saddle again. 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 Let me get this thing started. I was just over where the farmer is cutting hay. It's not very much, but it's getting cut. There might be a nice picture, with a long telephoto from the top of the ridge. If there is, I'm going to have to get on my bike because I'm not walking back up here. Alright, I don't have any idea what I'm going to end up with, but I'm going to go talk to him. We're going to shoot something somewhere. It's a normal day. Well, I screwed up when I left the house this morning in a hurry to get out. I failed to put the bicycle in the car, which means that I got to walk back to the top of the hill to get the picture I want. There's no parking up there, so I'm walking. I'm walking. Yes, indeed, and I'm talking about you and me, and I'm hoping I don't get too damn tired before I get this done. By the way, here's what it looks like. Get an idea what I'm trying to look at here. Nothing spectacular, but I'm going to try to find a spectacular angle. That's the key. I noticed earlier that from the top of the hill, there may be a nice spot with a telephoto looking down this ridge of trees over here along the roadway. I'm about to give that a shot as soon as I get to the top of the hill. This is the line of trees that will look really good, I'm guessing, with a telephoto lens as the tractor's running through that line of trees, in alignment with this line of trees through the raked hay. Where they're baling, they're going to be raking first and they're going to be baling. I'm standing in the street again. Who knew I'd be standing in the street again? Well, I kind of knew I'd be standing in the street again because that's what I do. Well, if everything is going to go as planned, I think I'm going to have to line up on this row right here as it gets raked. Maybe one more over. Let's get up to the top and see. I'll only have just a couple of passes this way with the tractor to get the picture I want. Because only in those moments does it line up directly on the roadway. And realistically, there's probably only one that's a direct alignment. That's the whole point, is to find this geometric design. Tractor, parallel rows, leading to a spot somewhere in the center that's a vertical line with the roadway. We'll see what happens. Let's go to the top of the hill and see what it looks like up there. It takes on a much different view from an elevated spot towards the top of the hill. Plus I'm further away. I'm going to be using the 300, so I want to use the compression. Did I even bring the 300? All this way I didn't bring the damn 300. Didn't bring the 300. I got this. Didn't bring the 300. Here's what it looks like. You can see the rows back there. This is the time of the day when I need an assistant to go back and get the damn 300. Alright, I'll be back when this is over. Well, you'll see a slight change of perspective here. You'll notice I'm now back down at the bottom of the hill. At the bottom of the hill. There's the hill. There's the top of the hill. There's the tractor. I'm at the bottom of the hill. The reason why is that damned 300mm lens. There it is, right there. I left it sitting right where I left it. The 300. That's what I need. This is it. 300mm lens. Right there. Should have been carrying that with me. I wouldn't have to come back down that damned hill. I know, it's not a big hill. I'm not a young guy anymore. I'm a little dehydrated. Alright, let's do this again. I don't know why I'm complaining. I did it to my damn self, and I'm the only one to blame. I'm going back up the hill. Dumb. Gonna see what I can do. Shooting ISO 400, about a 500th, a 640th at f5. f5 gives me a little bit more depth of field. Gotta find the right angle. We'll see how this works. I'll let you know in a few minutes. Yeah, I really moved out of camera range there. I'm really sorry, but I had to move up the hill to get a line on the trees or on the roads the way I wanted them. He's going to be coming back up one more row up here. Let me set this down. We'll shoot some more. Alright, I'm back. Tired, been up and down that hill 4 times. Up it twice, down it twice, across it a couple of times shooting pictures. I'm kind of tired at the moment. It's okay, it's part of the game. Shot some stills, horizontals, verticals, the whole 9 yards. Didn't do a lot of video. I did a time lapse. Hopefully this thing will turn out. Should have turned it on sooner, but I didn't. Carried the big gun here, the big donkey bag. This is the 300 I came back for. That was my first trip up the hill, down the hill, 300. I'm glad I did. I would not have made the pictures I made today without having gone back up the hill with the 300. It's a good decision. Now I say that after having just shot it. And I haven't done the edit yet, so I really don't know, but I've done this a few times, more than once or twice. And I'm guessing that more than likely I'm going to have a fairly nice picture out of this, whether it be the horizontal or the vertical. I really don't know. We'll find out. Didn't shoot anything with the phone. I was too far away to make an effective iPhone picture because I'm shooting with the 300 most of the time. The iPhone does not have the 300mm capability. My old Nikon D7100 and that 300 right there made a nice picture, I think. We'll see what it's going to look like. Shot horizontal, shot vertical. I varied my distance from the subject. I did shoot a couple with the 18 to 140, but not a lot because it just didn't have that narrowing of the perspective that the 300 has. So I'm kind of tired at the moment. I've gone through a couple of bottles of this. Purified by reverse osmosis. Well, I've got reverse osmosis going on in my body today. I'm sweating like a pig. Maybe I'll be purified by this. Just a real quick ISO 400, 500 at f5. I didn't shoot at f4, didn't want it wide open. 500 f5 is still going to give me narrow depth of field, going to look pretty good. No other exposure compensation. It was on auto exposure. I could have dialed over under a bit, but I didn't want to. It looked pretty good on the histogram, maybe a little darker than what I would like, but I think I'd rather deal with that than having blown out any of the highlights. I've been a 400 ISO guy all my life. I grew up on Tri-X and black and white, and I grew up a lot on the Ektachromes at 400. It made it easy to grab 2 cameras, one with color, one with black and white, have both the same speed film in it, so you could shoot one setting for both color and black and white. Certainly made it a lot easier. It's easier in some respects today because I can just dial the ISO in. It doesn't matter, I dial it 100 to shoot over here and 400 to shoot over there. So it really doesn't make a hill of beans difference which of the two you'd want to use, 100 or 400. The big primary here was to give me the depth of field that I wanted so that I could have enough stuff in focus. But I had to have the shutter speed fast enough that it stopped the action, and I didn't have any movement in the telephoto lens. That's primary in the telephoto. I wasn't using a tripod or a monopod, it was all handheld. I used the monopod. Hey, we got a tractor behind us. Right there. He's not doing anything but riding around. He's probably done raking. I use a monopod or a tripod when I'm going to have something that I've got to have the camera really steady, or it's going to be locked in a position where all I got to do is just push the button. The monopod works really well if I'm using it borderline speed, even at a 250th. I can usually get by 250th handheld. I've been doing this for a long time. But the great thing that makes it about the monopod is that it allows me mobility, and I can carry around a lot of weight. In the days where I carried around a 600 f4 or 300 2.8, being able to carry it over your shoulder made a big difference instead of having to carry it on the camera around your neck or over your shoulder. So I didn't use the monopod, didn't use a tripod, it was all handheld. I maintained the ISO 400. It gave me high enough shutter speed that I didn't get camera movement. It gave me a high enough shutter speed that I was able to get to stop the action. And it gave me enough depth of field that I was able to maintain sharpness around the tractor but make it out of focus further back. I might make that a different ISO setting if it were different lighting outside. It's cloudy bright today. If I had different lighting outside, or if I needed to have faster action for some reason, or if I wanted more depth of field. The stuff in front of and back of your picture, if I wanted more depth of field, I would have had a higher ISO. But I'm satisfied with what I had. I'm going to quit for the moment talking to you. I'm going to go talk to the guys over at the tractor, the implements, and see what they're going to do. I felt the hay. It felt a little moist. I'm not sure they're going to be able to. I'm not sure they're going to be able to bale today. If they do, it's going to be borderline. They're doing square bales, not as bad as round bales. But I'll be back in a minute. No. It's good, by the way.